So the U.S. is looking at using a base in Saudi Arabia as tensions rise with Iran. Who would have foreseen it? Who would have thunk it? So Biden is looking to start a war in Iran. Yeah, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? Giving hundreds of billions of dollars to Iran has led to a military buildup, which later on justifies a war. That's great. That's just great. So Biden is probably going to start a war with Iran. Yeah, that wasn't foreseeable at all. 4 years of relative peace under Trump, no new wars, and then all of a sudden a war. Of course, Mr. Potato Head is in power. They got to distract you, baby. It's like the rabbit from the hat, all right? They do something over here to make you look left, and then to the right, they put the rabbit in the hat. And then they pull the rabbit out when you look back at the hat. Ooh, look! The rabbit just materialized in the hat. No, we distracted you. So we could get away with some shenanigans behind the scenes. That's what's going on. That's what all these wars in America have been, a way to distract the American people so that the government and the powers that be could promote their own agenda, which is to have more power and control over you. This is really no surprise. Really no surprise at all. More focus is being put upon his crackhead son, Hunter Biden, who was just giving Sleepy Joe Potato Head advice about what to do with China. Great. That's great. That's great. Yeah. We really want a crackhead, meth head, moron loser whose entire life has been devoted to essentially being a useful idiot shill proxy for his daddy to launder daddy's cash. I'm daddy. I can't get the money directly, so I have my crackhead loser son who I enable. I'll have him be my useful idiot shill. Yeah, and they'll give him the money, and then he can give me the money secretly under the table in a big fucking suitcase once a month. It's great. Oh, yeah, we got this fucking crackhead loser who's amounted to nothing giving advice to the President of the United States. That was it. They were recently doing flyovers. The Chinese were recently doing flyovers over Taiwan, over their airspace, with military planes, and crackhead Biden, Hunter Biden is telling his dad, "Don't fall for the bait, Dad. Don't do anything to China. Let him do it. Let him do flyovers over Taiwan." That's great. Oh, yeah. So we've replaced Donald Trump Jr., somebody who's not a crackhead, coke addict, fucking meth head, alcoholic loser, with a crackhead, meth head, alcoholic loser. That's great. That's a great switch, yo. Oh, yeah, Hunter Biden is now a close counselor advisor to his daddy. Yeah, that's great. That's all we need. Yeah, they need to distract you, you see. So you don't pay too much attention to how they're destroying the country. Can't have that. Then there might actually be some kind of opposition that rises up. No, we'll distract you with a war with Iran that we armed when Obama gave him that $140 billion. Great. Lovely. Anyway, before I get into this story, I'd like to ask those of you out there that like and appreciate the raw, red-pilled, in-your-face nature of my content to please go check out my website, therealistphilosopher.com. That is therealistphilosopher.com. Consider clicking on the donate button and making a donation. I'd appreciate your help. You can donate Bitcoin to my Bitcoin wallet address. You can donate via Cash App, or you can donate to my Patreon. All those links are on my website. My Patreon is a per-piece platform. I make about 8 pieces a month. So you donate $1, that's $8 a month, 50 cents, $4 a month as a subscription-style platform. So whatever way you donate and however much you donate is entirely up to you. Any amount is greatly appreciated and needed, by the way. So go check that out, therealistphilosopher.com. Could really use your help. So the U.S. is looking to use bases in Saudi Arabia as a launch point for a war with Iran. So the U.S. military has considered using a port in the Red Sea along with 2 more airfields in Saudi Arabia as tensions with Iran remain strained, according to the Associated Press. So how this talk just pops up immediately when Biden gets into office and starts furiously scribbling out 50 million fucking executive orders, which they don't want you to pay too much attention to. So it's time for war. Also have to, reward the military-industrial complex for helping Biden get into power, you see. Yeah, war is a good business, yo. It increases debt exponentially. The global elite bankers love that. The military said it has already begun to test moving cargo from a Saudi port at Yanbu, which offers access to oil pipelines, according to the AP. Well, we're definitely going to need that oil since Biden is shutting down domestic oil production in America, which is going to make the cost of oil, of gas in America skyrocket. Get ready for your oil prices to go way up. If you have to drive anywhere, oh, look at your expenses going up and up and up. I wouldn't be surprised if gasoline in America hits $3 a gallon in the next 6 months. Wouldn't surprise me at all. General Frank McKenzie, the head of the U.S. Central Command, told Defense One that Yanbu and the air bases at Tabuk and Taif, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing all of these, along the Red Sea would offer U.S. troops better mobility in an area that would be contested if there was an armed conflict with Iran. A conflict that wouldn't happen if we hadn't given this tiny little nation $140 billion. The Arabian Gulf would be contested waters under any scenario of armed conflict with Iran. Not to mention all the money and aid the CIA has probably been giving them to start this little war. So you look at the places where you would move your forces as they enter the theater from being in a contested area, McKenzie said. Certainly the Red Sea, the western part of the Arabian Peninsula, presents those opportunities. But by the way, can somebody explain to me why we would want to go to war with Iran? I mean, maybe it's necessary now because the CIA, the deep state in and of itself, has probably been arming and training them for years so that this war would happen, which is part of why Obama gave them $140 billion. Isn't that interesting? Anytime Trump tried to spend any money, what happened? He got sued. Some Democratic congressman or coalition of them would sue him, and he couldn't do anything. Obama, he's spending $140 billion here, $500 fucking million there, giving billions of dollars to Solyndra, which failed. What? Where's he getting all this money and the power to spend it? I thought the Congress had the power of the purse. Well, that's only if we don't like the president in power. If we like them and they're progressive enough, we'll let them spend all they want without having to come to Congress. Oh, I see. Yeah, so the relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia has been tense ever since the killing of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi by the Religion of Peace, according to the AP, along with the kingdom's current war with Yemen. U.S. Navy Captain Bill Urban, a Central Command spokesperson, said that these site evaluations are primarily a contingency plan and do not represent any hostility. Bullshit. There's going to be a war with Iran. I guarantee it. It's a virtual certainty. Mr. Potato Head is too much of a potato head, okay? There's not too many bats in the belfry, all right? They've all flown away. They have to hide his deficiencies. And they have to hide his global agenda and all his very regressive and destructive to the American economy executive orders. So, yeah, we need a war. We need a war. We got to distract the lemmings, yo, with bread and circuses. Or in this case, a war. These are prudent military planning measures that allow for temporary or conditional access to facilities in the event of a contingency, and are not provocative in any way. Yeah. Oh, yeah, moving tens of thousands of troops to Saudi Arabia in case of a conflict with Iran. That's not provocative. Get the fuck out of here. Nor are there any expansion of the U.S. footprint in the region in general. What are you talking about? You're moving thousands of troops into Saudi Arabia. Of course that's an expansion of the U.S. footprint, you idiot. Or in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in particular, Urban told the Associated Press. It's not provocative. Really? That would be like a bunch of home invaders setting up a tent right outside my front yard, and it's obvious that they're planning to invade my house, and then they say, oh, it's not provocative. We're just camping. Oh, really? Okay. Urban said the testing was sparked by the 2019 attack on a Saudi oil refinery. And we care why? Oh, because very soon the deep state is going to get back in power through Biden, and they're going to cut off all oil production in America so that we're now dependent on these foreign nations again. So they have to pump out as much oil as humanly possible. Yeah, great. So we have to ensure that Saudi Arabia's oil production stays as high as possible. Yeah, which we wouldn't even need that oil if we would just let oil producers, oil refiners in America find the oil and drill for the oil. Oh, well, greenhouse gases. You do understand that it makes no difference. You find, you mine, you dig, you drill, you produce, you get the oil in America and make it into gas, or you get it from Saudi Arabia. You're still going to be burning the same amount of oil. But it will encourage more Americans to burn more gas than if they got it from a foreign country. So your point is that we want Americans? Is that what you're saying? We want Americans, you and the government, you want Americans to spend more money on oil and gas so they will be incentivized to do less driving? Lovely. That's just lovely. God love the government. No. Both Saudi Arabia and the U.S. have blamed Iran for the strike. The weapons used in the attack appear to be made in Iran. Well, of course, you give them $140 billion, they can make a lot of fucking weapons. This strike eliminated 5% of the daily global oil supply at the time. Again, something that would not be a problem if we were to produce oil domestically. Oh, God, no, though. That would make energy too cheap. We can't have that. People need to be paupers. They need to be poor serfs with no power or control over their own lives. And if we make them poor enough, well, they need to rely on the government. Former President Donald Trump deployed troops in Saudi Arabia in September due to concerns over Iran and this attack. So a spokesperson for Iran's mission to the United Nations criticized the possible U.S. expansion. United Nations, fuck them. Claiming that foreign troops in the Middle East is one of the main reasons for the chaotic situation and insecurity in that region. Well, I'll agree with them there. All that is, that's just them trying to keep up appearances. They're trying to appear like they have a problem with the U.S. being there, when, truth be told, they don't. It advances their agenda. Any contingency or conflict with Iran would only make sense if another country intended to attack Iran and we are determined to defend ourselves if attacked. Urban said these expansion plans have been underway for about a year. It remains unclear what President Joe Biden's relationship with Saudi Arabia will be like. I'm sure it'll be great. He loves every other country but America. Oh, boy. Me limiting the availability of oil domestically will drive up the cost overall. When we buy from Saudi Arabia, it's probably working for Saudi Arabia. It's probably got millions and millions of dollars stashed under his fucking bed in a secret vault somewhere. In his basement, I guess. Under the floorboards, I don't know. And all that money came from Saudi Arabia. He's a corrupt motherfucker. Corrupt motherfucker. I foresee a war in Iran. I really, really do. Going to have a war, and it's going to threaten oil production even further. Maybe some attacks from Iran will destroy more of Saudi Arabia's oil production capability, which will further Joe Biden's agenda to push green energy, which isn't green at all. Most of the plans he has for pushing so-called green energy is electric, which is powered by coal and gas and oil. I need to fill me up the battery in this electric car with electricity. Well, you do know that electricity is created by coal. Electric vehicles, on average, create more greenhouse gas than gas vehicles do. Just in the creation of the car itself and the battery. Oh, but he don't seem to know that or care. Because he's working directly with these big green energy companies, of course, which are not green at all. Yep, there's going to be a war. I predict a war in Iran before the end of 2021. There's going to be a war. Come on. This guy's not going to get through his term without war. It's not going to happen. Mr. Potato Head is not going to make it that far. He's not going to make it 4 years. I mean, he's going to be dead within 2 anyway, but if he just keeps signing and signing those executive orders and there's no distractions, there'll be too much attention from the mainstream, the lamestream media, as well as alternative media. Although, let's be honest, the majority of the lamestream media is going to run interference and not talk about any of the highly suspect orders that he's passing. They'll talk about his dogs and how his dog likes to eat ice cream. How Biden likes to eat ice cream. Bunch of fluff stories that cover up for his bullshit. But still, they do need a distraction. Which is why there was a near constant war under Obama, and why a lot of dumb idiots think there were no scandals under Obama. There were plenty. Anyway, let me know what you think. Is there going to be war in Iran? Is there going to be war in other parts of the Middle East to distract us from Mr. Beijing Biden potato head moron and his idiotic decisions, which do serve a purpose? They seem idiotic on the surface, but they are really to forward a particular agenda. Am I predicting incorrectly? Let me know in the comments section, and please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you have not already. BitChute.com/TheRealistPhilosopher. And again, if you really like and appreciate my content, consider making a donation by going to TheRealistPhilosopher.com. I could really use your help, folks.